welcome back to Obsessive Prepper AZ. The other day I went out and picked my lemons and some of my grapefruits with my grandson. So today Jackson and I are going to pick some lemons and we're going to dehydrate them, aren't we?
Yeah.
And then we're also going to juice some and get our lemon on. So what am I going to do with all my lemons? Now I am going to show you how to dehydrate lemons. It is so simple and easy to do. And then with my leftover lemons, I'm going to go ahead and juice them and then also put them in ice cube trays, pop them in the freezer, and then that way you have little ice cube trays of lemons all year round. So if you don't want to dehydrate lemons and you want another option, Trader Joe's carries these dehydrated lemons. Now the only thing, they're great, they're easy to just open up the bag, they're dried, but they add sugar to their product. I'm doing my lemons, I don't add any sugar, I just dry them. If you want to add the sugar to make lemonade, something like that, you could do that later. So, but this gives you another alternative if you don't want to dehydrate your own lemons. Something else I want to tell you about that I really love, it's under $10, and I got it at IKEA, is their little mandolin. This thing works like a charm, and it has different settings. What you do is you spin the dial back here, and it makes different heights for your mandolin. This thing is super easy. Now another thing that I purchased from IKEA are their glass containers. I don't warm anything back in my microwave that is plastic. I do everything in glass jars, and IKEA really is affordable, great little things, but something that they do not have by their mandolins that works out great, let me get rid of this piece here, is this little container here. There's also another one that is deeper, but this works and it snaps on. It doesn't snap on, but it lays on perfect, so nothing's jiggling. So then while we're slicing our lemons, all we've got to do is go back and forth and it'll land in here. Now the slice that I'm going to do is this thin on my mandolin, and I'm going to show you real quickly how easy it is. We've got our lemon on our mandolin. We put this down. This has got little spikes on it, and all we're going to do is run this back and forth. And like I said, the two do not come together at IKEA. I just happened to figure it out, and it works out great. All right. We have perfect lemon slices. This mandolin does a great little job real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing this, and then I'm going to stack them into my trays. Well, there you go. Super simple, easy to do. Now my dehydrator is the Excalibur, and I have 9 trays. So my trays will hold an awful lot. And on our dehydrator, we will cook our lemons at 135 degrees, give or take, I'm going to call it 8 hours. Now you will know when they're done, when they will literally sound like chips. You're not going to kill it too much if you go a little longer. I'd rather go a little longer with the time and know that they're dehydrated. So I've got them in the dehydrator. All I've got to do is put my lid on. Now if you don't have an Excalibur, and you've got something like the Nesco, that'll work fine also. It's just harder to get your lemons and things when they're on those little round dehydrators. Definitely if you plan on doing a lot of dehydrating, the Excalibur is the way to go. Several different models. I've got the 9 tray. They've got ones with glass fronts, less trays, so check those out. And then I've already got it set at 135 degrees, and then I'm going to, and it also has a dial for the amount of time that you want to cook it. So I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for 8 hours. I know it's going to be 8 hours. I'm going to call it 8 hours, and we're just going to let these dehydrate. Another thing, they smell so yummy in the house as they're cooking. Just amazing. So when it's done, I'll get back to you. Well, my lemons are completely dried. Now I did 2 batches in my dehydrator. The first 9 tray batch, I filled the trays completely up, And that's my first batch. Aren't they beautiful? My second batch is still in my dehydrator, and then I've got some peels down there at the bottom. Keep watching and I'll show you what I'm going to do with my peels. Now on our lemons, I had a little mishap. I cut my finger really bad. So I was expecting to get this video out earlier and it came out later because of a mandolin mishap. When you're using a mandolin, make sure that you watch your fingers because them things are sharp. And mine, I just got a generic one from IKEA. Love it, under $10, and that thing's sharp. So yeah, keep your fingers away from your mandolin. So it took me 2 days before I could actually get my finger to stop bleeding. There's no stitching it, no gluing it. It just literally took a dime size chunk out of my finger. Now, getting back to the lemons, I had showed you that Trader Joe's has their lemons, but they add sugar to them. Give you a little comparison. This is my lemon and this is Trader Joe's. Now they sliced a thicker lemon. The only reason why I didn't slice it thicker is because my mandolin, that's as thick as it goes. Now if you want to hand slice it, do whatever if you've got something that slices it thicker, but I use the heck out of just these little slices. Now what I will do with these is I will throw them in glasses of water and drink ice water with lemons in it. You can take your lemon, either rehydrate them or not. Lots of times I don't if I'm baking. If I'm grilling, I'll add some water to it or rehydrate them a little bit. But let's say you're baking some fish or some chicken. You can do a little layer of these, put your fish or chicken on top, and then also put some on top, drizzle some olive oil, some rosemary on both, and it turns out super yummy. So there's another idea for your lemons. So much vitamin C that you can get from your lemons, and that way you can use your lemons throughout the year if you've got a tree and you're not having to go out and purchase them. Or let's say you don't have a tree but there's a great deal on lemons, or you've got neighbors, go get some and dehydrate them yourself, and then you have just lemons all year round. Now also in my dehydrator, I showed in this video, I dehydrated mixed vegetables. And everybody kept saying, frozen mixed vegetables? Why do you dehydrate frozen mixed vegetables? Now, as a prepper, I'm always looking at how I can store things the longest. Let's say you have your canned vegetables. Those only store a couple years. You can push it 3-4 years. Let's say you want something shelf staple. Now this is shelf staple in the upwards of 20+ years. So my mixed vegetables are in my mason jars. Now I also do, and if you watch a ton of my previous videos, I will show you how to dehydrate, put them in food saver bags, how to put them in Mylar bags, etc. This batch I did 13.5 pounds of mixed vegetables, so 3 big bags from Sam's Club, and it fits into 3 mason jars here. So each jar is 4.5 pounds. That's 4.5 bags of frozen mixed vegetables that you would get and put in your freezer, but they take up all the room. Now, I also, to extend the life, you can see in my mason jar, it's not going anywhere, the lid isn't, because I've sucked the air out. So I suck the air out of the jar with my food saver with a hose port like this, and then what I do is I use the attachment, put it over, stick the port on, and it sucks the air out. That way we have no oxygen inside of our jars, and these are sealed. Let me open it here. And what's nice, did you hear that? Yeah. And so what's nice about using a food saver is that once you open it, just walk back over, put the port back on it, suck the air out. So this is, let's see if you can see, that's our mixed vegetables. Now what do you do with mixed vegetables? Throw them in soups, throw them in your stock, your chicken soups, top ramen soups. I was even actually picking them up and eating it like little, like snacks. So anything that you can do to have some vegetables, etc., into your food storage, your dehydrator does this super quick. You can buy bags of corn if you want organic or not. It's strictly up to you, but this is great. Peas, green beans, frozen is the way to go unless you have a bunch of fresh and you want to dehydrate your fresh. If I've got fresh, I'm going to can them. I'm going to put them in mason jars. I'm going to can my fresh vegetables. So get this out of the way. I have my food saver plugged in, lids off. All we're going to do is pop this on top. We're going to plug in the port to the top and put it on canister mode. And by doing this, like I said, you can open it up and then you can use some of the product, suck the air back out, and you're going to get longer life. Also, I really firmly believe that to not put everything into large containers, because especially like 5-gallon containers, because eventually you've got to get back into it and there could be weevils and growth. So I truly believe to put your food in smaller containers. There we go, done. It's sealed completely. You don't even need the band, but I store everything with the bands on anyways. But that food saver is a charm. As you can see, I've got more that I've got to pull out of my dehydrator. Now 135 degrees, you could do it in your oven, 135 degrees for 8 to 10 hours. Actually, these were right at 8 hours and they work. Let's see if you can hear them. They're like chips. Now they're going to be pliable, just like the Trader Joe's brand, but they're also, because you can see that, but they will snap and break in half. They are perfect at that point. They're going to be sticky. So this is mine. I don't know if you can hear that. And they break, just break in pieces. That's how you know you've got a product that's done. So now all I'm going to do is take my lemons, I'm going to stack them up, and I'm going to put them in my mason jars. I like mason jars. I also have in the past used Mylar and food saver bags. I think when you're doing it, it's easier and it's so much prettier to look at your lemons. And this is something that I want to use and I want to turn within, let's say, 1.5 to 2 years. Some people may have gotten longer. I normally, by the next season, I redo it because I'm already out of my lemons. Also, they're neat little gifts to give to people. Hot tea with some lemon in it. So I'm going to keep filling jars up, and then once I'm done, I'll get my food saver, just like I did with my mixed vegetables back here, suck the oxygen out, and then I've got long-term food storage. Nothing's going to get into it. Last thing I've got down here is peels, the rind. And what you want to do is when you're peeling them, you want to keep a lot of the white pith out of it. I mean, it's going to be hard not to get some of it. You just want to keep most of the white pith out of here. So what am I going to do with these? I'm going to throw them in a blender here. And we can chop up our lemon peels. What we can do with those is use them for seasonings. We can add kosher salt to them, so we have lemon salt. And you just have to add some to your meals. You know, great for like a chicken soup, like an Italian chicken soup that you put lemon in. Awesome. You know, in the soup you use juice, but you can use some of your seasonings. Salad dressings, you could use olive oil, a little balsamic, and then you can also put some of that lemon peel into it. Super yummy. And you have lemon zest year-round that you didn't have to spend bank on at the grocery store. So we're going to go ahead and just put it in my little blender here. It's a mini food processor. I had somebody ask me what brand it was. It's a Black & Decker, just like my food saver. They are dinosaurs. I'm not even sure if Black & Decker still has a little mini one like this, but it's Black & Decker. So all I'm going to do is mix this up. This is where I've stopped it. Now you can decide at this point, do you want to grind it down more, make a powder out of it so that you can have lemon, Himalayan sea salt seasoning, or you can just leave it like this. Great way to add to desserts, things like that. I'm going to still break this down. I'm going to finish doing this and then I'll get back to you. So this was the equivalent of about 14 lemons that I used the peels on. The lemons that I juiced, that I put in ice cube trays. So don't waste. Waste not, want not. Dehydrate your lemon peels. Finished product, lemons. We know that they're a great source of vitamin C, soluble fibers. We know they help with weight loss, heart disease, helps your digestive system. And just by having these in our food storage, we can just go grab one, throw it in our water, cook with it, season with it, and we always have vitamin C. That's a win-win for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. If you want to be notified for future videos, ring the bell. Keep an eye out. I've got another video coming out. I'm dehydrating 8 heads of cauliflower that I want for my food storage. So I'll be doing that for a video. Have a blessed day. Just to show you real quickly, this is our dehydrated. This was dehydrated and was in water, the water I've been drinking all day long. I just made myself another glass, and you can see that the lemons are dehydrated in there, and they will get here to this point of being pliable. Super yummy.